Hi, I'm Rob. I'm a managing director of a company that I founded about 7 years ago. I'm a devoted husband. I'm a new father, which is amazing, and an aspiring amateur athlete. So I guess in essence, all four of those parts of my identity come with their own set of challenges. And as a person, I'm quite ambitious and typically very goal driven, but I think like anybody, struggle with things like productivity and routine, and I guess just feeling like I'm getting the most out of myself in all of those areas as often as possible. And I'd like to share a little bit about what it's like for me to balance all of those aspects of my life and try to get the most out of them, and hopefully help you do the same. Especially as a parent, I suddenly really understand and value my own health and longevity. I want to be around for my boy, and I want to be active and be able to play with him for as long as possible. So I'm 32 in a few months, but basically, like when I'm in my 50s, I still want to be able to do really cool things and go on adventures with him and climb mountains and, I don't know, dive oceans and whatever, anything he's up for. I want to be able, if he wants to cycle across a continent, I want to have the option to participate in those parts of his life, if that's something that he's keen on doing. So that's what I've been inspired by, I guess, to make this channel. What I really want to share here is a refreshed approach to balancing those aspects and being effective and fulfilled in all of those aspects of my life. So I guess this lifestyle is definitely going to be quite a lot of fitness related content, and I'm going to share a lot of what I learn along the way. I've always been relatively active, but by no means have I ever been competitive as an athlete. There's no accolade to speak of. But what I hope to do is basically take on the challenge of becoming more of an athlete. Becoming a dad, I think it unlocked a source of motivation that I previously didn't have. And coming into my son is now 2.5 weeks old. But I would say over the last 4 months or so, I've really felt an ambition and a sense of drive that I haven't previously experienced. So I want to share what it's like to go from being a very unremarkable amateur athlete to someone that is genuinely competitive in their age group. And along the way, I want to share practical approaches based on my experiences. My ambition and hope with this project is first, I guess, to show myself that this can be done and show others that it can be done in their lives, and that you can actually have your cake and eat it, I guess. Where I'm at right now, I will occasionally ride my bicycle with a group of friends and occasionally lift some weights. But I really want to embrace the possibility and potential that I might have to perform well as an athlete. So that the things that I'm really going to be attempting in the relatively short term will be bike racing, so gravel and road racing. Running, I've always wanted to be a runner, and the goal is to become a runner. I think that having, at least for my personality, having some sort of target to aim for really helps. So doing a marathon in the next few months, and lifting weights and getting back to the kind of strength that I felt that I had when I was in my early 20s, so about 10 years ago. I'd like to regain some of it, or get as close as possible, if not exceed my previous strength gains. So I think alone that's already quite a tall order. And when you put that against being a new father and being present and spending time with my family and taking part and participating as much as possible in I think the privilege of raising my son is absolutely something that I'm not willing to sacrifice. And I really want the passion I have for health and fitness to amplify that experience of raising my son, and then still manage to perform my responsibilities at work as a managing director of an agency that I've been building for the last 7 years, and I guess not have any real negative impact on any other part of my life. So that's a really tall order, and for sure, coming into this, I felt really anxious. When I say coming into this, I mean coming into parenthood. I felt really anxious about how do I not just sink into like an exhausted mess that doesn't really function, as kind of just getting, like grinding it out, going to the bare minimum. So this is a conscious decision that I'm making to not use the fact that I might be getting less sleep and my routine might be somewhat disrupted as some kind of crutch, to not get the most out of life as possible. I definitely want to share the athletic pursuit. So what's my training like? How am I finding time to train? What's the kind of bang for buck? And I think I'll definitely do a few day in the life videos along the way to share insights. I hope to inspire young men who are perhaps thinking about becoming fathers or have maybe got pressure from their significant other. I definitely got a healthy amount of pressure from my wife. For a few years, she was a lot more ready to become a mom than I was, to become a dad a lot earlier than I was. That being said, I'm incredibly grateful to her for being patient with me, but also for encouraging and supporting me and making sure that I felt like I could actually live up to my own expectation of being a dad, and hopefully in some way imparting some level of confidence onto other young men, and basically also throwing down the challenge to say that, just because you've had this major change and you've got this new responsibility in your life doesn't mean that any other aspect of your life has to degrade. For sure, there'll be some compromise and some sacrifice. I don't doubt that, and so far I've already experienced my fair share. But sacrifice, I think, when it's for a worthy cause, has the effect of empowering rather than taking away from our experience of life. I don't think of myself as a coach or a life coach or anything like that. And I'm definitely not qualified in any way to give any sort of like mental health advice. I could just share what is working for me currently and hope that it'll work for you as well. And with that said, I would love to invite you to join me as I share this experience of becoming a better father, the best father I can be, the best version of myself as an athlete, husband, business owner, and hopefully you'll get a whole lot of value out of it and be able to apply a lot of what I'm sharing to your own life and enjoy as much of the positive impacts on your own experience of life as I am. I'd love to hear from you if you have actually watched this, and find out if you find it at all interesting, entertaining, valuable. I'm definitely open to any constructive criticism or anything really. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you're still here for this, I do appreciate it. Take care now. Bye then. There's a smile. There's a smile for me. Eh?